All right, what's going on, New York Giants fans? Bobby Skinner making this update video because the Giants have injuries. The Giants have some serious injuries, and now we have some more info on them as Monday night comes to a close. We've got Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney even, and then Rodarius Williams, who tore his ACL. But we'll start at the top, and the most important player of all these players, the one who, if missing him, your hopes of winning are very dim, and when they're already probably pretty dim, is Daniel Jones. Now, this is the only one we really don't have any info on because he's in the concussion protocol, so he has to go through those those procedures. So you'll probably have a better idea like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, obviously, seeing how he's going through it. But he looked like he didn't look. He got rung up in that play. I mean, he was stumbling, like he looked really bad. So I am not expecting Daniel Jones to play this week. And I'm not going to make any medical diagnosis on a concussion, but like that looked like a hit that could keep a guy out for some time. But at the same time, Patrick Mahomes last year versus the Browns in that divisional game, he got knocked out. He looked like he was rung up pretty good, and he ended up playing the next game. So not impossible that he's playing this week, but I mean, especially with all these other guys out versus the Rams, I mean, I probably wouldn't throw him in there anyways. I'd play it a little safe with them when in the past they were too aggressive with him with his willingness to play through stuff. But the concussion protocol stuff, that's not done by like Joe Judge and Ronnie Barnes. That's very like league like influence where outside guys have to clear him. So hopefully he gets back healthy. Saquon Barkley, low ankle sprain. Ian Rappaport. He's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks, according to Rappaport. He had a high ankle sprain in 2019. You remember that versus the Bucks, and he was supposed to be out 4 to 8 weeks. He only missed 3. But here's what I'll say with Saquon: please don't rush Saquon Barkley back. I don't think Saquon Barkley being rushed back is doing a disservice to Saquon and the New York Giants team. He hasn't been an efficient running back this year. He's only averaging 3.6 yards per carry in his career. His first 2 years were 5 yards per carry and 4.6. Now, do I expect it to stay that low throughout the season? No, but I'm not rushing him back. Hasn't been good enough to be rushed back. And I don't want Saquon playing with any type of lingering injury. It just doesn't make any sense to me. He's not even leading the team in rushing. Like Daniel Jones is still leading the New York Giants in rushing, only by a couple yards, but still through week 5, Daniel Jones is the leading rusher. Give the reins to Booker and Brightwell. Like they went out and spent money on Devontae Booker on the first day of free agency, gave him guaranteed money for next year. Like, use him. This is the reason you got him. Use him and tell him to have like a Wayne Gallman type mindset in the running game. Like, get forward, get those yards. And honestly, I think the running game might look a little better because it's been devoid of the Saquon big play for most of the year. Besides, once versus Washington, he had a couple of nice 10, 12-yard runs versus the Saints and the Falcons. But it might look better taking those yards, and we might get to see Matt Peart starting at right tackle when Andrew Thomas hopefully comes back, and Matt Peart will be a huge upgrade in the run game over Nate Solder. So the run game might look better with Devontae Booker in there. I'm not saying he's better than Saquon Barkley, but the run game might look better overall with Devontae Booker in there. Brightwell and Penny will be the backups. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they brought in Alfred Morris. Dan Duggan brought it up, but they brought him back in the camp. They used him. Like, they liked Alfred Morris. They brought him into camp. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's brought in and made to be the backup over Gary Brightwell, which I would be fine with. They don't have anybody on the practice squad right now besides Sandra Platzkummer, and I love Sandra, but I just don't see them putting him on the active roster. Like, he's a good runner, but I don't know if he can hold up with the physicality of like regular season NFL football. But if they did, I would be excited. But you got to tell this running back room with Saquon out that you have to have a north-south mentality. Hit those holes and hit them hard. Get 4 or 5 yards. The running game looked a little bit better with Peart at right tackle yesterday. But again, please don't rush Saquon Barkley back. They did that in 2019, and he didn't look right. He had some bad games coming off that. He just did not look like a good runner. Next, Kenny Golladay, hyperextended knee. Ian Rappaport tweeted this: wide receiver Kenny Golladay is expected to miss this week with a knee injury, source said, but a major sign of relief all around. The initial fear was that it was major, ... but should be just a week or 2. Actual good injury luck for NYG. So Kenny Golladay, obviously, the $17 million a year wide receiver. He's the team's leading receiver right now with 17 catches and 282 yards. So missing him is going to be huge. It's still pretty frustrating that we haven't gotten to experience a Kenny Golladay touchdown yet. You know, his last fully healthy year, he led the league in touchdowns in 2019, and this season we haven't gotten one, which is frustrating. Like, I've been waiting for it. It's, you know, if there was one thing you told me, like, hey, what play are you waiting for to when you start the season to see the most? It'd be like Daniel Jones and Kenny Golladay hooking up for that first touchdown. Like, that's going to be a good feeling. And they just haven't got it. But Kenny Golladay has been an effective wide receiver post week 1 for the Giants. And again, he's the leading receiver, 282 yards, had that good game versus the Saints. So missing him is going to be huge. I think he'll be missed more than Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon Barkley offensively will be missed less than Kenny Golladay or Kadarius Toney if he was going to get injured. But Kenny Golladay definitely be missed. He's been taking like those safeties over the top, which has helped other guys. You know, he's been getting those, you know, when they get man coverage and those 3-level reads. Kenny Golladay hasn't always been the guy to be thrown to, but part of that's because they would be doubled, and that's left under other guys underneath open. But it looks like we're missing Kenny Golladay with probably Mike Glennon at QB. So, but good, very happy that it's not serious. You know, he tried to play, you know, tough it out yesterday, didn't come out for the second half. So glad it's not major. The guy who's had, you know, a couple injuries in his career. You know, he's not a stranger to injuries. So this makes it much more important that Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton are back. More so Shepard, like he has been the chain mover for the New York Giants. He's been, you know, the guy that Daniel Jones has trusted the most. But bringing him back will be huge because now you have like 2 wide receivers that can make plays and you can be confident in with him and Kadarius Toney. Slayton being back will help with that outside presence, being that deep ball, more contested type guy that, you know, that can, you know, use his speed to get downfield. So I know a lot of people are down on Slayton, and I kind of am too. When you talk about the wide receiver room, like there's 3 guys who should be clearly ahead of him: Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, and Kadarius Toney. But with Golladay out, I think Slayton will prove to be an important piece in his time out. And again, Kadarius Toney's battling an ankle injury. Now, Joe Judge said he doesn't think it's a significant injury, but they'll see how it affects him this week. Kadarius Toney said to the media, he's like, you know, I'm a dog. Like, I'm going to play through it. So I would expect to see him this Sunday. I wouldn't read into that much. And then the last one we got, Rodarius Williams tore his ACL, which anytime a guy you get, you know, lost for a season, it sucks. But Rodarius, like, he was kind of a cool story for this year for the Giants. You know, he had taken over the cornerback 3 a spot from Darnay Holmes in a clear effort by Patrick Graham to play more man coverage. We'll see if I leave that in. He had taken over cornerback 3 from Darnay Holmes in a clear effort to play more man coverage by Patrick Graham. And I was like, man, they're going to pick on this guy playing man coverage. And the Giants haven't went like full man, but they've been playing a lot more man than they did last year. So I thought you'd see more of that. But he only gave up 45 yards in 2.5 games really played, you know, because he only played 12 reps versus the Cowboys. At the same time, when Rodarius went out, he went out earlier in the game. Darnay only got 1 snap, so it's kind of interesting to see the way they've transitioned away from Darnay Holmes. You know, it shows why they drafted Aaron Robinson. Now, Aaron Robinson's on the PUP list and can't come back until after week 7. But like, they wanted to play more man out of that slot position, and there's a clear reason why they drafted Aaron Robinson. Now, what do the Giants do in his absence? I think what they're going to do is play Julian Love a lot more. I think Julian Love will get some of those nickel reps. What I would do is hope Jabril Peppers gets back, because Jabril Peppers is very important for this defense. And I would go back to some of your bread and butter stuff from last year. You know, the Giants Patrick Graham's been doing these 2 high safety looks, and it's been leaving 6-man boxes versus 6 blockers, and that leaves gaps uncovered. And you don't have Blake Martinez or Dalvin Tomlinson to play those 2 gaps. What I would get back to is bring Jabril Peppers, put him in the box as the box safety, and use Darnay and Xavier McKinney as like that nickel corner, which they both did last year. Xavier McKinney got those reps towards the end of the season as that nickel zone corner, and then you got Logan Ryan as your high free safety, and then the corners on the outside. Like, put Jabril Peppers in the box. That's where he is most effective. That's where he's best in coverage, not put out on an island. And man, put them in the box, let them play zone, let them attack, let them blitz, let them fill run gaps. And I think that is the best way for this Giants defense to get back on track after a really bad game versus the Dallas Cowboys. But what I think they're going to do, I think they're going to play Julian Love at nickel corner. And they're still going to do Xavier McKinney and Logan Ryan as high safeties, and Peppers will be that third safety who gets 60% of the snaps. But that's not what I would do. But anyways, like, subscribe. Appreciate the support for the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Let's go. I was leaning forward the whole video. Let's go Big Blue.